All right, good morning. Well, it's morning for me right now. I don't know if you're watching this in the morning. Um, Today I'm going to begin showing you how to create a video game or how to code in Scratch. And so first go to our Google Classroom and click on the Scratch link. And I gave a bit of a Scratch intro on how to do that, how to create an account, well, kind of gave information on that, but anyway, go to scratch.mit.edu, and I'm already logged in, and hopefully you're logged in right now too. If you're not, just pause the video and log in. So the first thing we're going to do is click on create, and hopefully you got some of the got a chance to do some of the tutorials right here. If you haven't, you can click on there, you can do some of the tutorials and get it kind of used to the environment that Scratch is. So I'm going to move my character. I think I'll go down here with all the sprites. Okay, so in the comments I had 3 people reply. One person said they didn't care, and one person wanted a Mario Brother side scroller. One person wanted a racing game they can upgrade. So we're going to do a bit of a mixture. We're going to attempt to do a mixture there. I maybe should just pick one or the other, but I'm going to try to do a racing game that's like a side-scroller platform thing. I mentioned there'll be kind of like the Hill Climb video game that you can download on your phone and play, but it's not going to be quite that complicated. Some people have done that in Scratch, and it's quite complicated to move the vehicle to look like it's climbing up a nice hill and to change the angles and all that. And so for your first game, I don't think that's exactly what we want to do. So first thing I'd like you to do is to get used to creating sprites and get used to the costume tab. And so we need to create a character. Now, normally I have students draw a character that looks like themselves, and I think we probably should do the same thing. So you have a cat right here. It's a default sprite that comes with it. Go ahead and delete that cat. Now you should have no sprites. By default it goes to the stage. And then go down to the bottom right corner, not completely bottom right, but close to it. And there's that little cat with a plus sign. You want to choose a sprite. Let's first go, instead of just clicking on that, let's go to paint. Now here I'm going to move this. Maybe I'll go over here. Go to this one here. It says paint. So we're going to paint a sprite. If you click on that, it'll automatically go to the costumes tab for your new sprite. And I'm going to suggest we do a side scrolling from left to right. And so we're going to create a character. I want you to draw yourself. And, oh, you know what? We need a vehicle too. Okay, let's first see if we can find a vehicle. So I'm going to say choose a sprite instead of paint it. And let's see, these are, oh, here's a couple of cars. Here's a nice car right there. I'm going to pick the convertible too. You can pick either one there. And so actually sprite 1 you can get rid of. Convertible is what we're going to use. If you go to the costume, you can see there's just one picture of the convertible, and I'm going to draw a character that goes inside, and that character is going to be me. Now, I'm not expecting a super awesome picture here, but I'm going to make it a little bit cartoon-like, and hopefully it'll work out. You might find it's easier if you click on the convert to bitmap, but I would suggest not doing that. If you just did that accidentally, I would delete this, go back in, and find your car again. Just because you're going to want to have in vector mode. That's what it is by default. Alright, whenever you're trying to draw onto another vehicle, what I always suggest is to make a copy of this costume. So you can just right click on it and go duplicate, and that way if you screw this up you can just delete it and then go back to your original. So, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, something like that. And I'm going to begin to draw myself. And I might fast forward this in the video. Here's a circle. It's going to be my face. I don't really want it to be... I want to have purple skin. Apparently I'm going to have pink skin though. Okay, and the outline, it's a bit thick of an outline, so we're going to change that to, change it to 1. And I don't mind that it's a black outline, that's okay. I'm going to go here. I'm going to change this down to maybe 2. And I'm just going to... That did nothing because of that. Actually, here's a pro tip. I want it to be the same color of the black of the outline of this circle, so I'm going to click on this this eyedropper thing, and there we go. Now that should be the same color. And I'm going to do a side profile-ish. So it's going to be like this. It's a vector, so as you draw it, it might move things around a little bit. That's a nose, by the way. And then a couple eyes. Actually, no, that's okay. Okay. If you press Control Z, if you make a mistake, you want to get rid of it. Press Control Z and I'll get rid of it. The eyes, I think I'm going to do a different color. Maybe I'll pick the color of the tire here. Probably should make the eye pupil black and then blue around it, but it's a cartoon, it's okay. Okay, and it'd be nice actually if the inside of the eye was white, but you see in vector mode it's really hard to paint things unless they're completely enclosed, so I can't really do that very well. Anyway, I'm okay with how it looks. Then I'm going to add some hair. Okay, for the hair I'm going to make the brush size a little bigger. Not that big though. And I'm going to draw the hair like as it would look if you're driving it in a convertible. Alright. Alright. Okay, so something like this. The only other thing is I'll give a bit of a neck there. So I'm going to go back to, oops, I'm going to go back to drawing to, actually this might, no, that's good. So just putting the neck in there, I didn't like that. Okay. I'll see if I can fill it with flesh color now. Oh, it's not going to let me. No. Nice. I could fill it. Actually, I think I'll do that then. I'll make a little box. And just line it up right. Something like that. And then if you want to move something, you can select it like this. Make sure you select all of it. If you select only a portion of it and move it, you can see how it has not the effect you're going for. Okay, and I just want maybe a yellow shirt. Same yellow. So what I'm doing is I'm just making kind of a portion of a body there, and then I want to squish this if I can. So it would look okay there if I just did Control Z to get that back. I think actually this outline, maybe we should have an outline. Just because everything else does, I think it'll look better. Now the problem is I want this to be I want it to be behind. And so I can click on backwards, but first I'm going to move it to where I want it to go, to make sure that when it goes backwards, it actually does that. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go backwards a few times. Actually, if I just click to the back, that's good. So now it looks like I'm inside the vehicle. I have no arms, but that's okay. It's the way cartoons drive. Okay, so draw yourself inside the car like this. It's okay if you want to just make it a stick figure, or if you want to make it a Mona Lisa, you can do either. Okay. Now we have our first character. We are going to animate this character in the video game, make it look like the wind's going through the person's hair, maybe have the person blink once in a while, that kind of thing. In order to do that animation really well, you need to keep it in vector mode. As soon as you click on bitmap mode, then it's very hard to animate. Then you have to end up drawing things like crazy. Okay, so this is our main character that we did, and that's the first sprite. And I want to call this, I'm going to call it driver. So you go to your sprite name, and you can click on it, on that box, and then you can just type in whatever name you want, and then that name will be updated here, and it will forever be referred to as driver in your coding. And you can see that if on this screen here, you can click and drag it and move it around wherever you want to. So I'm actually going to create the framework of this game today. And I know this video will probably be about half an hour, and I'll try to go as fast as I can so that you feel free to pause it whenever you need to. Okay, so we're going to go to code. And the first thing I want this for my video game is I want this driver to drive across the screen, and I'll make a sound effect, and then I think I'll put my logo up here, my company logo. So I'm going to, Atkins Games is the one that I always use, and so I'm going to do that. Now before we go further, right now my game is called Untitled -12. Yours is probably Untitled -1 or 2, however many games you've made. And I want to change this to, I I might just call it race car. Actually, I'm going to call it platform racer. Maybe I might change the name of that. If at any time in the future you want to change the name of your name, your game name, you certainly can. It's not a big deal. Now up here it says save now. If I click that, it'll save the project, and my progress will be saved here. So now let's continue. Let's make this animation here, and I'll show you the framework of broadcasting, and then that'll be the end of this video. So the first thing you want to do is you want to decide how your game begins. And if you go to Control tab here, Events tab, you can see there's a whole bunch of events. When the green flag is clicked, that's the green flag there. That's usually how games start. When the space key is pressed, when the sprite is clicked, when the backwards, there's a whole bunch of, or backdrop switches to something else. There's a whole bunch of ways to initiate code. So we're going to take this one out here when the green flag is clicked. And I wonder if I can zoom in a bit, just so that you can see my code a little easier in the video. Okay, so when the green flag is clicked, I want this vehicle to start. Now, I'm actually going to give it the illusion that it just drove from off the screen. I'm going to move it over so it's right on the edge there. And then as soon as I do that, you'll notice something, that this XY, it updates. So if I'll move it a little bit more here, you can see that over here on the Go to XY motion tab, it keeps updating the location. Now this platform here, or this screen, is divided up into X and Y. So the X is along the horizontal, Y is the vertical, just like our Cartesian plane. And so the X-axis is in the middle, the Y-axis is in the middle in here. So you can expect, if you've done any math, that comes in it comes in handy here for coding. It's in -279 X and a -68 Y. That's down here. If I wanted them both to be positive, I'd go up here, okay, and you can go around the Cartesian plane. But I want it to start down here. Alright, now I'm going to bring out that Go to XY location, and that basically says that when I click the green flag, it'll go to that location. Then I want it to go across the screen, and so I'm actually going to bring it to where I want it to end up. So I'm going to grab it by the bumper, the back bumper this time, and I'll put it right there. And I'm going to use the glide 1 second. Make this a little smaller. Glide 1 second to that location. Okay, and you can see that actually along the X-axis, it's gone basically from a negative to a positive, and on the Y it's basically the same. And in fact, if I want it to be completely level, I can adjust this to 87. And if you don't like this one, I can make that to 85, so it's nice and parallel. Okay, so now actually, oh yeah, this sometimes happens. If it says project could not save, you could click down, try again. Maybe your connection was off a little bit. Or you could actually download your video game to your computer and then upload it from your computer. That's also an option, but it's best if you can do it all online. If you put a lot of time into your game, maybe I would recommend downloading it once in a while and also saving it online. Okay, so if I click on this bit of code, it'll run just that bit of code, and you can see when I click on it, the character drives across. Now I'm going to do it a little slower just so I can see it, so I'm gliding 2 seconds. So now the character glides across. It's a little easier to see. Okay, if I have this is in a certain view, you can click around here and you can see different views. You could also do a wide screen here, and click on the green flag, and you can see the character drives across. And that's pretty good. The the other thing I would like to do is make it look like it's not stuck there and that it didn't just start peeking out here. And so we're going to go to looks, and we're going to go to scroll down to show and hide, and we're actually bring in hide first. Then we'll go to that location. Then we're going to go show, and then at the end after it glides we're going to hide again. So what this does, so I'll just show you this again. What this does is, as it goes out of the scene, it disappears. Now I probably didn't need to put this hide in there, but actually maybe I won't even put it in there because it's so quick it doesn't matter. This will look the same. So it quickly goes to that location, it shows, and then it glides off. Alright, the thing that I feel like is missing is some sound. So if you go to your sound tab, by default, the pop, hopefully that wasn't too loud, that pop sound comes with a sprite, but it's not something we want. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go down here, I'm going to choose a sound. So there's a whole bunch of sounds here, and if you click on them or actually just hover over them, then you're going to get different sounds. Hopefully you can hear these like I can. I'll try not to play too many of them. I want a car though, so it's a good idea to just go through. You can select them. I think it's going to be an effect. So I'm going to click on that. Oh, there's a car horn. It's a car horn. There's your jump scare of the day. I want an engine. There we go. Okay, perfect. So if I click on this one, the sound of that is shh. Okay, I'm not sure actually if I want that, but I'll use it if I don't find something better. I kind of want the sound of an engine going by. So let's go back to effects again. Just gonna see if there's something a little more like a. Okay, yeah, that's loud. A little more like a flying by sound. Let's zoop. Nope. No. Oh, traffic. Oh my goodness. It's kind of what I want. Alright, perfect. Okay, here we go. Here's the one. That's space flyby. So I'm going to get rid of the engine one, even though it's not a UFO, but that's going to be the perfect sound for what we're doing here. So back to the code tab. Go down to the sound circle here, the pink one there, or purple. And play start sound, this one, the second one down. I'm going to put that right after the show, and let's just see how it looks. Alright, that's pretty near perfect. The 2 seconds glide works really well. So I think we'll keep that. Okay. Beautiful. Alright, now the other things we're going to do here is we're going to put my logo, and then we're going to cycle through the screens. So right now we have the driver. We want to add a new sprite. So I'm going to paint a new sprite, and in this one I'm just going to click on text. I'm going to I think I want it to match the car actually. So I'm going to actually go back to the car. It's hidden right now, so I'm going to go to looks. I'm going to click on show, just click on it there, just so I can drag it out. Now I'm going to go back to my other sprite, sprite 1. This I'm going to call my game logo, or like it's kind of like the company logo, and there'll also be like the game title, whatever I decide to call this game, probably Platform Racer. Anyway, so let's go to this costume. I just wanted to steal this color. Oh, I can't steal the color. That is kind of sad, actually. I have a secret way to do that, though. If you take the driver here and you click on, oh, not there, on here, and you drag it into game logo, you can see when you put it on top of it, game logo moves a little bit. Now if I go back to game logo, it's on here. So I've just tricked it into being here. The reason why, I just want to get text. I want it to be the color of the car. And alright, let's just put some text down here. If you click it here, I usually call my things Atkins Games. You can call your company whatever you want. First you type it in, then you click on the side, and then you can make it as large as you want. So I'm going to do that right now. Actually, it's not a bad size on the screen. Okay. I think I like it up there. So the other thing is you can change the different fonts. Make it pixelated, handwriting, a lot of different choices. I could go there. Maybe I should do that for this time. I don't usually use the marker font, but it's okay. Okay, so there it is. And I'm going to delete this other vehicle because I don't need two of them there. And now I have this costume I'm going to delete. So I have Atkins Games, and I have the driver. So I've called this one driver, the sprite, and I called this one the game logo. Okay, and I want Atkins Games to also have some sort of animation. I think I'll just have it appear. I could have it move around the screen. So I'm going to go to Control. I'm going to Events. When the green flag is clicked, I'm just simply going to have it appear. So let's go to Looks, and what we're going to do is we're going to change, instead of color, we're going to change, I'm going to do the ghost one. The different effects. The ghost effect just makes it disappear. And so we're going to start we're going to first set the ghost effect to 100, and you'll notice if I do that and I click this, it disappears. And then I want to slowly decrease it down to 0. So I'm going to decrease it by 10, and to get that down to 0, I'd have to repeat that. So if you go to Control, bring out the repeat, and we're going to repeat that 10 times. So if I click on this, you can see that the Atkins Games appears, but it appears really fast. So I'm going to slow this down. I'm going to go twice as slow. So this is going to have to repeat 20 times. Oops. And now you can see it's a little bit slower. Still way too fast. There we go. That's a nicer kind of a thing. Okay. Nice. So now, if I do full screen here, I click the green flag. Good. And I'm noticing that Atkins Games is a little off center, so I'm going to fix that by just simply going on here and moving it like that. And I could lock it into that location by saying go to that location first and then set the ghost effect. So now every time I play this game, it'll appear there. Okay, there's the start of my game. I know I'm 30 minutes into this video, so I want to wrap things up pretty quick here. The next thing I'd like you to do is to start making backdrops. So I'll make a couple here, and I'll just label them, and then we'll end it there. So if you click on Stage, where the backdrops are, and then you go to the Backdrop tab, you can see this is what your backdrop looks like. It's clear and it's white. So we can either choose backdrops. You can feel free. There's a whole bunch already drawn out for you. So for instance, the blue sky might be a good one for driving, but there's lots of different ones here. So I am actually going to pick the blue sky. Okay, and now you can see when I run my game, looks like that green matches this one. I'm noticing that my car is actually hovering in the air, so I can move that down. I can do that in this code here, instead of having it at this location here. Maybe I need to go, or this location, maybe I need to go a little bit lower. I can actually find out what that would be. If I show this car, move the car to the ground, say right there, you can see that the Y is updated to negative 129. I'm just going to make it 130. Okay, so now if I run my game, now I'm driving on the ground. Back to the stages, the backdrops. So this is the blue sky. I'm actually going to rename it to say this is my logo screen up here. The reason why is just to keep track of everything. This one now is just the backdrop is just white. I'm deleting that one. Now I'm going to add another one. I want to have my menu screen. I think I'm just going to use blue sky for now. So this, instead of blue sky 2, I'm going to call my I'll call it my start menu. And we're going to add another one. So I'll choose a backdrop, and that is going to be for the game, playing the game. And that one I want to be fairly simple. Actually, I think I'm going to create my own. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to say paint, and I'm going to get this bucket, and I'll make it a yellow background for now. Oh, I gotta convert this to a bitmap, otherwise I won't be able to paint the screen. So for the backdrop, for this case, it's fine if it's all one color. Those colors kind of, I don't know if they clash or what, but I need to be a little more. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. So here it is. Here's my game, and so this one I'm gonna call level 1. Okay, so I have my logo screen, my start menu, and level 1. And in the next video, I'll show you how to go from one to the next and to get going. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully your game has begun. Feel free to customize it any way you like. We'll try to do the same code together, but hopefully that gives you a good start on your game. See you next time.